You're going on the whole, we're feeling a lot of the 90s theme.
Mm.
You know, I won't say why now, but why reintroduce it now as part of the new brand?
Well, I started off doing it. You started off hearing the elements. I mean, whoever's listened to my earlier EPs, etc. Like you started hearing the elements in the stuff like 7 minutes before time, in between time, all that stuff. The elements were in there because that's what I done. That's what I just done, and I feel like that's what kind of gave me my light in a sense. Like it gave me like, okay, that's Angel. Even with the whole ride out stuff and like all that stuff, like that was like that's Angel. And then it got to a stage in my career where I felt like, you know, it's album time now. Not really thinking about the world, just thinking about like making a great album for the United Kingdom, and feeling like now I have to really kind of compromise, not because of I wanted to, but just knowing that there's a whole team of people that, you know, like give their opinions, and you've got your A&Rs, and you've got different people in place that just have opinions and that have more powerful say than you, and that it becomes compromising what you're doing, because it's like, we've signed you now, cool, that was that, now we need to make records that like your 13 and 14-year-olds are going to love up north. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's where it becomes compromising, because you think, what? No, I'm going to just go into the studio and whatever rolls off the tip of my fingers is what it's just going to be. And I felt like in the later stage now, why I've reintroduced the 90s thing again, coming back to that, is because of like, I just felt like after the whole compromising situation with the About Time album and whatnot, like it was just, my fans didn't really want to hear me doing that. They knew it, you know, like, it's cool songs, we know you write, we know you do this. It is like a crossover kind of vibe, it's cool. But like, you know, a few people could do this sound right here. Like, we want to hear Angel. We just want to hear Angel. We just want to hear that stuff that you was doing. And I felt like, okay, let me put out something that I'm just careless about, and came in here and just had fun, chilling, talking, just not thinking about anything, and making records like that. And then the tune that I put out was like a tune called On The Low. And like the response from it was like heavier than any of the response that I got off any tune on my album. Hence Wonderful, because that was the one that was like the one. You know, that tune was really good for me, and it was like that one that kind of sent the message through. It was like able to open a lot more doors for me and stuff, and that was a blessing. I would never turn back the hands of time for that, but it was just like a learning curve still, because it still was compromising. And if I could put out the records that I'm putting out now then to kind of break that barrier at that time, I would have. It's just like, again, it was compromising. So like, this 90s thing for me right now ain't really new. It's just like everyone's clocked onto it now, and it seems so cool to do, and it's like, it's back, it's retro, and it's like, sometimes I'm like, please, I was doing this like 10 years ago, and no one understood what it was. It was like so R&B, it was too R&B, and it's actually a blessing now that like this loop's gone round. They say like music cycles, innit, and we're in that time again where, you know, the 90s thing's cool again, and it's just a blessing to be able to have grown up in that era and genuinely have that natural, organic vibe for that era, because you get enough 16 and 17-year-olds that, you know, didn't really live the 90s era, but like scream 90s, and that's cool, because, you know, you can do your research and get into that vibe. But like, we're living that really. Like, I was about when SWV and your Joe DeCees and your Mint Conditions and your Tupac All Lies on Me album come out. I was in primary school. Like, I've really cherished those moments, and like when I'm making music now and you hear the elements, it's because of that's really in my DNA. I'm not even trying to be cool for school. Like, that's just what it is. And I feel like the music that I'm doing now, if it's gonna be all about Angel, all about me, all about what I love and what I do and where I've come from, it's gonna be that kind of music, because that's what I love and that's what era I've grown up in, and I feel like that's the most exciting time of music for me.
How do you deal when they was giving you opinions about your music, critiquing your music? Probably
Who, like the public?
Labels, public, just, you know, you said almost about like having to create something that may fit for another audience and maybe a bit foreign to you. Just as a character, like how are you able to be like, wait, this is my music, what you...
Well, when you're at that position, don't forget, it was like I was much younger.
Yeah.
You know, it took him 4 or 5 years ago. You feel like you're in a position where, like, you know, like, you're signed to a major label, you know. You just feel like you're on top of the world. It's that feeling like to say, well, you don't want to blow the deal, You don't want to go against everyone and feel like you're that guy that, you know, is hard to work with.
True.
And all the rest of the stuff. So sometimes that's where the whole compromising factor comes involved. Because of it, some of the times, even if you do speak, you know that it's passion. But then the team's like, nah, this guy's going to be a bit of a headache. And it's loads of things. And you just think, you know what? Let me just stick to the program. Let me just follow, like, just go with the program, you know, like, just feel it out and just go with the flow. And, you know, like, at least if something does mess up, I know it's not my fault. It's not my immediate fault because of, you know, like, I compromised and I went with the program. But, like, the good thing in that and the loophole is in that is, like, you're able to have another shot after that.
Do it your way.
Yeah. You're able to have another shot, and I've had that shot like 2-3 times after. I've seen when something hasn't worked, and it's been like, okay, well, you know what? That might have been our fault, because, you know, maybe we should have gone with that, but we didn't. So, you know, you try it your way now. And I feel like that's the stage I'm at now. And everything's been going so organically, and the buzz has been so warm. It was like when Ride Out came up. It was like chapter 1 again, like, do what you do, and just continue to do that. And don't compromise. Just don't. Like, if you're doing it for you and doing it for, like, the love and passion and the vibe and, like, what your fans want to hear, and just for people, like, real music listeners to enjoy, then crack on. I'm doing what I love. I've got good people around me. I've got a team, I've got food, I've got drink. Like, I'm traveling, I'm showing. Like, all I need to do is just hang in there and just keep the faith and know that it's not like if, but when.